About 3 years ago, my friend called me crying, claiming she cheated on her husband, is pregnant, and needed a place to stay because he was going to divorce her after finding out. Whilst I absolutely hate cheating, we'd been friends for years, so after speaking to my husband, I agreed to let her move in temporarily as we had the space. Over the next few days, I started noticing that my husband is weirdly invested in her pregnancy, and when I bring it up to him, he claims it's because he wants to learn for when we have our own. We were trying for a baby. My husband comes from old money and has always been very generous with his wealth, so when he excitedly started buying baby things for her, I didn't think much of it. There were also some other weird things going on that didn't really seem like a big deal at the time. But now knowing what I know, it all makes sense. To cut a long story short, I eventually bump into my friend's ex, and he exposes their affair. I kicked both my friend and husband out of the house, found out I was also pregnant, and let my husband move back. My husband voluntarily went completely no contact with her when he found out I was pregnant, to try and save his family. We now have a toddler together. The reason I'm posting this now is because my friend recently tried to send me a message through a mutual friend who explained that she ended up miscarrying the baby and had to get an emergency hysterectomy. Her ex also refused to forgive her when she went crawling back and pushed through the divorce. She's been in therapy since and claims she has done a lot of soul searching and wanted to be friends with me and my husband again. The majority of my friends think I'm right for refusing to contact her, but this mutual friend, who is the only person who remained in contact with her when I exposed what her and my husband did to our friendship group, says I'm the a-hole because she lost her job, worked for my father-in-law's company, lost her husband, friends, will never be a mother, etc. And so I should forgive her because she's paid for her mistakes, and I forgave my husband. I have not. So I must be over it already. The reason I do feel bad is part of me wonders if she would have went full term if I, instead of throwing her out, had just moved in with my parents temporarily and given her time to move without the extra stress. Also, I feel bad because my husband ghosted her when he should have been there for the baby, and not even once after the due date did he try to contact her because he didn't want to hurt my feelings. So, am I the a-hole for refusing to forgive my former best friend? Everyone sucks here. I think it's kind of hypocritical to reject your friend but take back your husband. I also don't understand why you would take him back at all. The guy got your best friend pregnant, watched her baby grow, then got you pregnant too? Then he refused to be a father for the other kid, and you just ignore it. What is wrong with you two? This man is already a crappier father than he is husband. You really think he's going to change? Stop cheating? You, your friend, and your husband are ridiculous people, and I can't see any positive end to any of this. Everybody sucks here, and wow, your husband actually had the balls to move his mistress into your home? Was he hoping for a sister wife setup? I can't get my head around that, let alone the rest. Divorce the husband, carry on with no contact with the friend, look after your kid, duck everyone else. Edit. I'm just going to add this because a lot of people are assuming I encouraged my husband to go no contact, ignore his responsibilities. When I first let him come home, I made it clear that whilst I didn't want to get involved with his other child, that I didn't expect him or want him to abandon his baby. I always assumed he saw the baby outside and never mentioned it to respect my wishes. It's only after my mutual friend brought up the miscarriage, I'm still not 100% if my husband knew, that I've realized just how far he was going to pretend none of this ever happened. Edit 2. There's a lot of comments about why I haven't divorced my husband. I think I haven't given enough context for just how intertwined our families are, so it really does seem like I'm stalling for no reason, but for more info. I have several family members who work for his family, or for companies his family have ties to, and considering how easy my father-in-law got rid of my friend, I doubt he'll find it hard to push them out. My cousin, who is a single mother, lives rent-free in one of his apartments as a favor to me. His family helped my sister start her business, and she can't afford to buy them out just yet. Custody is definitely the biggest reason I haven't filed. My husband is the golden child in his family. I know when push comes to shove, they will do whatever they need to protect him and his interests. The only person in either of our families who knows about the cheating is his father, and whilst he was furious with him, He not so subtly told me it was better I learnt to live with it because his family didn't do divorces and he wouldn't allow his grandson to grow up in a broken home. My husband claims he wouldn't take our child away from me, but even 50-50 custody seems depressing to me when I get to see my son all the time right now. I also evidently don't really know my husband, so he could try anything in a divorce. Update. Thank you to everyone who replied. Your comments helped me realize I've been sweeping this whole situation under the rug for too long. I'm currently at my parents' house. I ended up breaking down and telling my dad everything, including what my father-in-law said. He was understandably upset and spent an hour arguing with him over the phone. My father-in-law claims I took what he said the wrong way and that he only meant I shouldn't throw away my marriage so hastily over one silly mistake. My family are helping me look for a divorce attorney so I can figure out my options. I did end up asking my husband if he knew about the miscarriage before I left, and he admitted he did. He also admitted his father paid her off to keep her away. I'm not sure what's going to happen next, but I don't plan to break no contact with my ex-friend. A few weeks ago, I went home from college to visit my family at Thanksgiving. My parents were hosting, and they invited the whole family, including my aunt, mom's sister, who has been on-again, off-again dating a guy the family doesn't approve of. He's been to jail, and he and my aunt have a lot of drama, including another woman he got pregnant. She brought him and also his 2-year-old son, who his ex had been the mother of. Also, my cousin brought another new girlfriend, which bothered a lot of the family. He has another girlfriend every few months, it seems. So I could tell it was awkward from the start. There was a bunch of snippiness. Then, my cousin broke up with the girl he'd brought at the event. Apparently, he found out she'd slept with one of his friends and it bothered him. Plus, there was a good bit of political arguing at dinner. I just kind of let it all roll off. I paid the drama no mind and sat with my grandparents and caught up with them, listened to some of their stories, played with my nieces, taking funny pictures, caught up with my other cousins, dug into the food, enjoyed the boozy eggnog, and had a pretty nice time regardless. There were lots of people there I was happy to see, and I didn't want to engage with the awkwardness or drama. Just have a chill time. And I genuinely did, just focusing on the people I was happy to talk to, and the good food, etc. Almost everyone made excuses to leave very soon after dinner, and my parents were pissed. That my aunt and cousin had ruined Thanksgiving. That it was embarrassing how everyone had left soon after eating. I wanted to look on the bright side, and I said that I've had a nice time. The food was amazing. I was happy to see my grandparents, my cousins, and their young kids. And my mom was especially mad. She said it was childish of me to put my head in the sand and pretend everything was sunshine and rainbows. And it was also embarrassing of me to dig into the food and sit back with a drink watching all the crap unfold like it was a TV drama. I said I wasn't trying to watch for fun. I was just trying to enjoy my meal and not get involved in bickering myself. But my mom wasn't happy with that. She thought I was being mocking somehow, and my dad was upset with me too. He said that it was disrespectful of me to reach in and start serving myself seconds when everyone at the table had stopped eating because of the argument. My dad also thought it was idiotic of me to be taking silly photos and little videos with my nieces when an argument was unfolding in the same room. Nobody wants to be on camera on their worst days. And I said I wasn't trying to film them. I was trying to keep the kids entertained. And if anyone showed up in the background, it was totally an accident. My dad said I was being stupid and tone deaf. I said sorry, but honestly, I feel like my parents are overreacting. Am I the a-hole? Not only not the a-hole, why won't your family learn from your behavior? You were pretty awesome. You and your grandparents were doing things right. The other adults allowed some other person's drama to spoil their day. It was their choice. The host could have tactfully removed the fighters into another space to give them privacy and to protect the partygoers. This drama was nobody else's business anyway. My now ex-husband and I tried for 3 years to conceive with no luck before turning towards adoption, which was an uphill battle for 7 years. My husband's cousin's daughter, who we'll call Kayla for this story, came to us after a particularly hard failed placement. We had held the baby and all but signed the papers to bring him home. She was 21 at the time, 6 months pregnant. We knew that she had been considering adoption, but we hadn't asked her about us at all. Because 1, we were planning on adopting the other baby, and 2, That just wasn't our place. Kayla told us that she had given it a lot of thought, and she really wanted to keep her baby in the family. She knew that we would be her parents, but she said that she felt we were the best fit. We talked about it, still a bit burned, though soon became overjoyed and told her yes. She gave us a beautiful baby girl. Before our daughter's birth, we outlined everything at length and made it clear that we would be the parents. Our daughter would always know that Kayla was her birth mom, of course, but she wouldn't parent her. We also outlined visitations, pictures, etc. Kayla was okay with all of it. Everything went well those first 3 years. Some stuff went on between me and my now ex. He's no longer in the picture, not with me or my daughter. This is by his choice, and I wish more than anything he would be here for our daughter. This is when things with Kayla went south. She started trying to come around more. We live in the same town. She'd drop by unannounced, call constantly to check up on things, and pick fights with me about my parenting. All of this while I'm dealing with the divorce of my husband of 16 years. My emotions got the best of me, and I didn't always handle it best, but it was just too much. Eventually, she told me she wished she hadn't let us adopt our daughter because she wanted her to have 2 parents, and now she just has 1. I snapped. I told her that I didn't want her coming to my daughter's 4th birthday party. This would be the last event she'd be seeing her at for a bit since we're moving. This greatly upset her, according to Kayla's mother. I just can't deal with this drama. I plan to just tell my daughter that Kayla is sick and couldn't make it. Am I the a-hole here? Edit. Some clarity. The adoption was legal, and myself, along with my ex-husband, are my daughter's legal parents, though I now have sole physical custody. We set up a visitation plan with Kayla, though it cannot be legally enforced. I did not decide to move away because Kayla made this comment. I have been planning to move, which Kayla knows, after my daughter's birthday out of state, as I can no longer afford to live in the same area after my divorce and becoming a single mother. Even with this, Kayla would still see my daughter. She just wouldn't be able to drop in and do what she does now. My husband and I had what I thought was a happy marriage. He walked away because he struggled with not connecting to our daughter. He hasn't been in the picture in almost a year. Not the a-hole. She's legally your daughter. You can do whatever you want. She gave up the rights to her daughter. She only pulls these moves because she knows you. This would never happen if she gave her kid away to someone outside the family. You've been flexible with the visitation plan, and she's taking advantage of that. She's lucky you don't have a closed adoption and have been so accommodating. It's a shame she's not more appreciative, especially since you have all the legal rights. Kayla should know that you don't bite the hand that feeds you. Do what's right for your daughter. Kayla isn't doing what's right for your daughter. She's trying to get back in her child's life because she feels guilty about the decision she made to give up her child. That's not your fault, and it doesn't mean she gets to mess with this kid's life and cause disruption. If Kayla cares about her kid, how about she reach out to your husband, her family member, and tell him to be in the kid's life? It's funny how she doesn't bother to do what's right for the kid when it doesn't benefit her, isn't it? I woke up today with my sister saying that one of my cousins is pregnant with her 3rd child. Both her and my mother were so surprised with the news, not in a positive way. And I didn't say a word because I was prepping myself to work. If you wonder why they reacted badly to it, it's because this is her 3rd child so far. Frankly, we don't know her limits, so she might do more as time passes. Anyway, while I was at lunch, she texted me through Messenger on Facebook and told me the news about her 3rd kid. Here's the thing. I'm not fond of this cousin. We're not enemies, but there are times I wish we were. She's really forceful, irritating, shady, a known liar, a bad company to be around at all. My day today wasn't the best, so I didn't give her any commemorative message or whatnot, just an ironic wow. She said I was being rude to her and that she expected me to be more respectful towards her since she'll give birth to another beautiful kid. I told her to go check a mirror because she can't call herself a mother when it's my aunt that takes care of her kids, and now will have yet another responsibility under her arms, while my cousin was partying and being a bee in heat, making kids just for the fun of it. She instantly blocked me. Just now, my mom questioned me if I said something to her, and I told her the truth. She then said that my sister saw a post where she spoke that, basically, someone she dearly loved was another freaking backstabbing bee, and other stuff. She also said that everyone in the family WhatsApp group, I left it, is talking stuff about me and how I wasn't being sensible with her situation. Being real honest, she's no mother to any of her kids. Her first child literally tells my aunt to duck off and calls her a bee. And she lost her second child through a lawsuit where the father proved her neglect and that she was D the kid so it would go to sleep. Also, she's an addict that leaves her kid with my aunt to go have her fun with that boyfriend of hers. Well, am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Your cousin is an adult who is on her third kid and still living under your aunt's roof, which clearly she isn't even capable of taking care of herself. Not the a-hole. The entire children are a blessing crowd drives me crazy because no one asks if the child is going to be blessed in return with a loving and capable parent.